Alright, today we're going to be solving some inequalities using addition and subtraction. So let's get started. We're going to remember everything we learned in the prior videos. First thing I noticed is that I'm going to treat this inequality just like an equation. I'm going to split it down the inequality sign. The opposite of a plus 6 or minus 6 is plus 6, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides. That does create that 0 that we always talk about, and we're going to end up with m is greater than 2. We just carry the sign down. We're not flipping it around because we're not dividing or multiplying by a negative. We also have learned how to graph the inequalities. We're going to put 2 on the number line. I'll place a couple other numbers on the number line as well. We know that this is greater than sign, so we're going to use an open circle. We're going to go with which way the arrow is pointing, and the arrow is pointing to the right, so I will shade to the right, and I'm finished with my first example today. Next, let's keep going. We're just going to show lots of different examples. I'm going to split my inequality down the middle. I'm going to say I have a positive 4 here. The opposite of a positive 4 is a negative 4. That's what creates 0. So I can get C by itself. I'm going to copy the sign down, and I'm going to say 7 plus negative 4 is 3. My variable, as we know, should be on the left-hand side. Since it's not on the left-hand side, I'm going to flip-flop those around, and I'll have my C on the left now and my 3 on the right. And what also has to take place is the arrow's pointing at the 3, so I've got to make my arrow still point at the 3. This now says C is greater than 3, so I'll go ahead and put some numbers on the number line. Again, I've got to make sure that I use 3 on my number line. I can use plenty of other numbers, but I've got to make sure I include 3 on my number line. I'm going to use an open dot. There's no equal to sign underneath it, so I'll put an open dot there, and I will shade to the right. Next problem, let's change colors again. Little rainbow flavors going on. We are going to add 4 to both sides. Add 4 to both sides. That's what creates 0 in this problem. I should have drawn my line down from the inequality so you can see the left and right hand side of my inequality. So I end up getting P, carry down my sign, and 1 plus 4 is 5. The P is on the left hand side, so we're ready to graph. I'll place 5 on my number line, 6 on my number line, and 4 on my number line over to the left-hand side. I'll also go ahead and put a 3 on there as well. I'm going to use an open dot on 5, and I'm going to go with which way the arrow is pointing, which is to the left. And we now have this example solved for. I've got many examples, like I said. They're all basically the same, but we're going to keep working through them so you see lots of different types. This problem, we need to get the t by itself. The opposite of a positive 3 is a negative 3 on both sides. That creates 0, and I get t is greater than or equal to 5. I'll go ahead and place 5 on the number line with some other numbers. And this time I'm going to have to use a closed dot, meaning that 5 is included in part of my solution. I'm going to shade to the right. And there's the graph of this solution. The next problem is written in words, so we'll go ahead and write an inequality for it. It says 4 more than a number. We can call that number whatever we want. I'll call it n. n plus 4 is less than 11. Now we're ready to go ahead and solve that. So I'll get rid of the 4 by putting a negative 4 on both sides. That creates 0. N is less than 7. We'll put 7 on the number line along with a few other numbers and use an open dot, meaning that 7 is not included in my solution, but anything less than 7 is.